Welcome to Viewpoints. I'm Greg Brunel, and today we're speaking with Vinicio Mata. Vinicio is a lieutenant with the Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety here in California, and he's just completing his master's study at the Center for Homeland Defense and Security. We're here to talk about his thesis, the contribution of police and fire consolidation to the Homeland Security mission. And Vinny, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your thesis?
Sure. The idea for the thesis came out of the background that I have in the department that I work in. Sunnyvale is a fully consolidated department. We get trained both as police officers, so we go through a police academy, and firefighters as well. In addition to that, we're EMTs. So what the department has done is taken the broader concept of public safety and consolidated those functions to be able to develop a program that's an integrated services to the community when it comes to public safety.
And that model's been very successful in Sunnyvale?
Yes, for us it has been. We started it in 1950. The department started as a police department, and they had volunteer firefighters that served the community. And then they got to a point where they needed to develop the fire service side of public safety, and they came up to a decision point, which was, do we make the two departments like traditionally has been done, or do we consolidate our services to be able to provide those services to the community? And that's the way they decided to do it.
The Sunnyvale public safety model, is that very unique in California? Is that unique nationally?
It is a unique concept. Consolidation of police and fire services has many shapes and forms throughout the country. You can, in a way, you can differentiate them. And in my thesis, what I did was I divided up the concepts into three main models. Full consolidation, which would be exemplified by what Sunnyvale does. Partial consolidation, which in my thesis, what I did was there was a case study on the San Diego Police, San Diego Harbor Police in California. And what they do is a little different. It's just a partial consolidation, and I can explain it later. And then administrative consolidation, which is a model that's practiced in White Plains, New York.
Vinny, this is a very timely topic and an important one as our communities ensure that they have the best public safety construct to face today's challenges as well as future challenges, particularly during fiscally difficult times. Can you tell us what your recommendations are and what your conclusions were from your research?
Sure. One of the main conclusions that I found was that traditionally we have organized our public safety agencies separately because we have viewed the emergencies separately, police, fire, EMS emergencies. What these consolidated models and these consolidated departments have taken advantage of is that the emergencies are public safety emergencies. They're integrated emergencies. They have been able to reorganize themselves, work together in an environment where there's unified leadership, there's unified command, there's interoperability built into the system, there's common communications, and all of those aspects help them address those public safety emergencies in a better way and more efficiently than traditional departments. That's the argument and the conclusion of the thesis.
What are the challenges you identified to that type of integration that you see happening for some of our communities?
Yeah, some of the challenges were different depending on the type of organization they had. For the fully consolidated departments, one of the main challenges was training. It is difficult to find the training money and the time to be able to prepare responders to do multiple types of jobs. The same thing happened with partially consolidated departments. For administrative consolidated departments, one of the biggest challenges they have is to manage the differences in the labor contracts and labor negotiations between departments, because you have police officers and firefighters operating under the same umbrella of an organization, and there's going to be those are treated differently when it comes to the labor contracts.
What are some of the challenges for departments that are currently separate when they approach the concept of joining forces and becoming a public safety agency? What are you seeing there in your research as to why that doesn't happen, or some of the big hurdles they have to overcome in order to go from a traditional siloed emergency-specific type public safety construct to an integrated public safety construct?
It's not an easy concept to apply. One of the biggest barriers is a cultural barrier. We have developed disciplines that are in essence different, even though they operate within the same environment. They have, the law enforcement culture and the firefighter culture are different, and to be able to organize them in just within one system, within one approach, one vision, one set of leadership, that takes work, and it is difficult.
Traditional fire and police organizations have a corporate culture that very much respects the well-deserved tradition and pride that each of those organizations have. In your research, what were you able to find was some of the impediments to overcoming that, and what are the successful models to overcoming and integrating those corporate cultures to create a new public safety construct?
The successful consolidated departments have been able to, from the beginning, pay attention to the traditions and the cultures. They have created an environment where those are important while taking into consideration the different threats that we have to respond to, that we have to prepare.
So it's a new model for a modern era of Homeland Security.
Yes, because it forces the threat. The types of threats that we are facing now are different than what we faced, for example, 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they have forced us to enter a time where our response has to be integrated. If you look at some of the threat possibilities that the country faces right now, it forces us to think that way. Because of that, we cannot stay in an environment, and we can't keep our organizations separated anymore. We can't afford to do that. We have to talk to each other. We have to communicate better. We have to operate in a way that we're supporting each other. These consolidated models, because of the way that they're organized, because of their structure, it facilitates the way that they operate.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very important topic, and one I'm sure that's going to continue to generate a great deal of discussion across this country. So thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you.